back to the organizational development theme of the Community Educational Program, CEP, this month, February. We used to talk about the leadership approach with leader-centric, which is trait theory, some characteristic that people believe that someone is intelligent and charismatic is automatically mean that they should be a leader. But scientifically, we're not sure about that. Different approach, different organization, different style, different context will require different leadership approach and style and theories. And we believe that the same thing with management, general speaking. So during this time, we talk about management study with the manager-centric viewpoint, which is I bring it out here with the major questions. Who is the manager? How do you define the manager? The roles, the responsibility, the tactics, the function of manager. This is some kind of illustration of the hierarchy model. It's not collectively right with information up here, but when you go through some kind of principle and study, you will see some familiar idea that articulates some kind of information supposition. When we talk about management, where the critical way different with leadership is management is about top down, about a pyramid, about a hierarchy. Top manager make order to middle manager, and middle manager make order to first line manager, the first line manager make order to different lower level manager or then employee. So that is the only precise thing of this pyramid that we can think. That is, we have top down decision making and responsibility process. But how it's go and how we define it, we gotta go through some kind of material in here. They use some kind of the open source of the study. And you can find out, you can Google it, it's pretty open access for now. They call it principle management, a collective, some kind of general idea of management. And remember, this book is still free until the end of this year, so take time to read through it. You understand some general concept management, and you can see up here, first chapter is always go through some really logical, personal way of approaching things that we approach with the manager-centric, personal-centric, who is manager, who is employee, what is organization, the kind of way. It's a classical way, but doesn't mean that it's the only way. So the first chapter we talk about manager, we talk about leadership, entrepreneurship, and strategy, which is some extending viewpoint of management, and some planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, which is the four core function of management. Looking to some kind of context in performance evaluation, which we already go through in other course. Of course, we go through some practical principle. And then the next chapters, going through some kind of psychological approach, personality, attitude, behavior, background. This historical viewpoint is the only thing if we go some kind of academic approach of this theory, or you want to be seriously research about management theory. If you don't, it's fine. It's just some history lesson. Yeah, chapter 4, chapter 5, we talk about some kind of clear approach for different layer of manager. You're going to see it later in this material. Vision, mission, values, strategy, goals, objective, organizational function, and then we go down to organizational development approach. This is cultural, networking, leading people, making decision, motivating, and all kind of modern theory so far. But you want to go through modern theory, you got to go understand the background first, which is we need help today. Take time to read this book. I mean, if you go through all this book, you basically have some idea what is management. All right, so this objective of today is to answer 3 questions. What does it mean a manager? Definition. What type of different manager? And what the work of manager doing? If you call yourself, you have selected a position of manager, you don't do the management work. You basically is not manager. You just have that title. You don't know how this works. That are different. And you would be, removed by other people or other type of work that really understand the core principle of management. So it's not about position make you become manager. It's about what you work and what responsibility, what function you take to make you become manager. Same thing with leadership. It's not about a title make you leaders. It's about what you do, what you influence other, how the follower interact with you, how you deal with challenge, make you become leaders. That's why they call it twist. So the position can change, but the work function is not. When you finish off this function, you become the manager or leader per se. Okay, so we go through definition manager. I do some highlight here. When we talk about manager, we start with a position, but then we go more into their role and responsibility, which is the realistically thing who decide that you got to be a manager or not, or we should remove you or not. All right. And traditional approach always about hierarchy, or a pyramid, the top and the bottom. But modern approach, we'll talk about more empowerment, which is a process you let other people outside manager, could be middle manager, could be employee, to in charge of their own way of thinking, behave, and take action with autonomously, which is, well, a modern approach, but pretty challenging when you give the people with narrow viewpoint and ability, expertise, a vast power of making decision. It's dangerous, but let's see how it's go. All right. So with the traditional or contemporary views of management, it'll break down in four major different type, or seven major, but basically is a hierarchy. Always have people at the top who in charge of strategy, vision, and mission. They're not normally dealing directly with employees. We're more directly dealing with the middle manager. So that is the manager of the manager. We'll make sure that the big picture will be articulated and break down into goals and indicators that they can control. Second set, that's a functional, right? A functional team in general. So functional manager, who is someone in charge of separate function and make sure that function effectively, which is accounting, marketing, finance, legal, sale, okay, that is function. Third one is supervisory or team manager, just take you the name. It just manage the small teams in their under the hand. Scientifically, a good manager manage 11 individual that keep you strong connection. You understand that remember the name. You remember the behavior, the characteristic. You understand their story. You really know their strengths and weaknesses that you can remember it. You don't need to read they need an assistant to read through the profile to recall the memory. So how about 20? How about 2000s? Yeah, you got to break to a small organization, small teams or subgroups, or what they call it here. And each of small team of 11 to 12, we're leading by one manager, which is team manager. All right. Another one, the general one, is a line manager. Line manager is more like directly into the product and service because this management theory normally is based on the business approach. Leadership theory is based on more politics and military and religion or something broader spectrum. It's not covered by the social exchange. So when we talk about line manager, we talk about product centric. You can call product manager or service manager the same thing. I have a sample here, the PNG, have a tire detergent. You got to decide how you make that product, how you put it on a package, and how you sell it to people. Another type is indirectly input into the product that is called staff manager. So staff manager, like a support, like working on the staff thing, like finance, accounting, packaging. You not directly create the final product, but support to complete the final products. So the staff manager and line manager or product manager always stay together like a team under the supervised of general manager. Project manager then also the new way of breaking down the big organization to the smaller project base. So I have 10 projects, so you need 10 project manager. Ideologically, that each manager have a special skill set, expertise for leading their team toward that project. For example, marketing project, sales project, legal project, all kind of research project, environmental project. They got to require manager a different skill. And the process is a planning about project. 20 step, 25 step, finish in 6 months time and step, right? And you need 20 people. So it means that need staff or human resource. And then you execute it, is what just mean that, all right, so we do 5 steps in the first 2 weeks, next 5 steps in the next 2 weeks. And the next 5 steps in the week of 8, for example, and in the week of 20, we're closing a project with the outcome. That's how it works. And a different function we see up here: architecture, consulting, computer networking. General manager who's someone who's making decision in across different functions. So they don't base on the function; they based on the collaboration and supportive of different functions. So and they take direction from the top executive. So, for example, come back to P&G. The CEO of P&G saw that they got to make a new type product with a new name, with a new function, with a new smell, for example. How to make it work? How to make that work? They sit down together with different manager, R&D manager, who will decide how the function of new product will look like and how smell is going to be special. Branding, I'll make sure how the packaging and color look cool. Product manager, how to make sure that from the factory to the customer, how the staff will look like at a certain time. And the different financing, accounting, gonna sit out there to make sure the price look nice. Marketing, make sure that customer can reach out the information, the new product. So 7 managers sitting out there, and general manager make this final decision to make sure all of that 7 idea that plug in the right time are gonna go. So, but the general manager, they make sure it vast general roles and make sure different goal, different function coming in, and they set out the specific goal to make sure that that's 7 function or 7 team do their work, that visualize the vision or strategy or the mission of the top manager. So that's why general manager is not a top manager. The top manager will not set the specific goals for each department and don't really work directly with the staff like other middle manager or the first line manager. We see that in that hierarchy illusion, the slide. Here we go. That's how it look traditionally on the left side. Top manager to make sure that competitiveness and lower manager does their job. So basically, top manager is a manager of the manager. To make sure the organization look healthy and prospective. Middle manager, what they call lower manager, go to work directly with employees and make sure that the strategy from the top effective and generate to them, and make sure that all the employees working and the peer be loyalty and obedience all of the order of the top manager. That's the model hierarchy. So now contemporary, they try to flip the hierarchy that at the top manager will be empowered to lower manager and an employee to responsibility for the organization competitiveness and their own development, which is I don't think it's doable now today. When you know that it's not about a position, make lower manager name lower. You in a lower hierarchy. It means that you just see a small part of the organization. You just a small piece, the big picture. You cannot see the whole things. And you just work with a small group of people. You just access to a small resort of the organization. You're just a small organ in the big body. How can you make the decision for the big body when you're a small part of that, right? This figure cannot decide how this body works, right? So that is some kind of criticize for this model that they try to make it, and I don't think it's work. Because now today we still see that CEO is still the one who make the final decision. President is still the one who make a final decision, not a group of vice president and advisor and head of department. No, they don't. They just more like provide suggestion and feedback. So provide more information for the final decision. Then they make the decision themselves. That's a different distribution of power in the organization, which is weaknesses of that's empowerment theories. You don't understand the construct of power. You cannot empower people, and you cannot empower employee to make decision for the whole company. You can listen to their suggestion, but they just know about their small part of work, how they can make decision for legal terms or for management, for merger and acquisition, and all kind of different function that hopefully they can know it, but it takes a lot of time to make sure 5,000 employees have enough knowledge and expertise and experience as the CEO of the company. That's a challenge. I mean, we can go through it, but in a bigger function, well, it have a long time to go through that gap. And of course, when the top down empower to people underneath of them, the people underneath could feel that they have fully support for the top management, and they can ensure the employability. This means ensure the job. Okay, the top manager are going to tell you that, okay, you are the key person of this company. We make sure you have the job. Just do it. Do the thing that the best for you, which is going to be the best for the organization too. That is the contemporary approach of management, flipping up hierarchy, which is, well, a little bit dangerous of change. I don't see any much of the case that's successful doing this, but let's see how it go with a different function.